All right, welcome
Okay.
everyone to the Truth Hoops podcast. Myself and Shane here today.
Yes, sir.
We got some fun topics. Our first topic we're going to dive into is on the idea of effectiveness. We talk about conditioning. What does conditioning actually mean? Are we doing the right drills? Should we actually condition someone before they go into a skill session? And at the end of the day, are we really approaching this in the right mindset? Are we trying to be effective, or are we trying to just get things done? After that, we're going to dive into two bonus topics here. We have gosh, you guys might not be Pokemon fans. I was a Pokemon fan. We have a guess that Pokemon or guess that basketball player in this case, where Shane rattles off a couple of players and their stats, and I try and guess who they are because I'm a self-proclaimed knower of all when it comes to former college basketball players. And last but not least, we end with a Disney Channel original movie draft. Why not? Because it's awesome.
Why not? Let's do it.
And let's just say Shane's first draft pick might have been one of the biggest busts of all time, but that's okay.
No.
I make up for it very well. I hope you guys enjoy this podcast. Let us know what you think. Thank you for listening, and let's hop into it. Topic I see in basketball and something I see in coaches and stuff that overlaps into my world of performance is the conditioning side of things. I was watching Luka Doncic play the other night.
Yeah.
People get all worked up about conditioning because they say Luka's never in shape.
Looks tired.
He looks tired. And then we see coaches and true. We see coaches try and condition players. Have you ever had a coach who has made you run in practice for the sake of conditioning and then said, like, we got to get our wind back, whatever the heck that means, even though you play a game like 3 days from now in the middle of the season? Is that something you've come across?
Yes, I've come across lots of those situations. And you know when coach kind of comes in upset and you're like, yep, we're going to run today. And you already know. And you just wait for that first mistake to happen. And it's like, beep, on the line. It's like, yep, felt this one coming. As
a skills trainer, how do we tackle the importance of conditioning? Because I know that we have like the basketball coaches who just make you run. Yeah. But outside of that conditioning, which we don't typically agree with, that kind of running, what is the kind of conditioning you do agree with in terms of stuff that you can do for you and your players to get them in better shape? And what does what might that look like?
Man, the first thing that comes to my head is playing, like obviously with a purpose, not just fives, but some threes and some ones and some twos. I feel like that's a great way just to kind of get in the flow of moving, like a basketball player playing defense. I don't know. To me, playing helps. But
how do you define condition? Like you say, we're going to do conditioning. Player comes up to you, got a parent. They say, hey, our kid,
I got to get in shape.
Got to get in shape. We got to get in condition. How do you define?
I feel like people are the first thing they think about is just being able to like breathe, right? Like cardiovascular conditioning, I feel like is the first thing that comes to mind. Being able to.
How do you define it?
Not lose your breath. How do I define it? I don't know. I don't know. This is an interesting topic. I think I always felt like cardiovascularly I was okay. But my legs would get tired. Like my legs would just feel like that burning feeling. You know what I mean? That's to me when I got the most tired. Me breathing, I don't know. It was like there were some bad days for sure, but like I don't know. I always felt like when I was in shape, my legs didn't get as tired as quickly, whether we're doing sprints or whatever. But that's off of sprints and stuff like that. So I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I can give you a full, long-winded scientific answer to this. But my question is, why do you think we don't actually, I say we, like most coaches or even skills persons, to put you on the spot, like look into that. I always find it interesting. I'm not saying you don't. But I'm someone who I like to learn all sides of the coin. And it seems like
for sure
sometimes the physical side, even though we interact with it so much as if you're skills or your coach, you just leave it to like a very nondescript nature. Like, oh, be in better shape, be in better condition. My legs burn and like things like that.
We don't really dive into it. I don't know. As a player, conditioning was always just running to get in shape. That's what it always was. I don't really know outside of like maybe playing and doing like weights. I don't know. I've never really been put through anything other than just running to get in shape for basketball, like lines, whatever it is.
Interesting. Yeah, well, being in shape, the strict definition I'd give it, condition is dependent. What are you trying to do? Right. I am playing X number of minutes, and my role within those X number of minutes is to do these number of sprints, these number of jumps, shoot this, run this, pass this. And conditions relative to, can I do that? And over a period of time, how little decrement can I have in my performance due to my physical abilities? So someone who's not very conditioned to speak and they go and talk for an hour and a half at a lecture, they'll have a sore throat. You've probably had that before if you had to go run a camp. But the more you get used to talking, the more conditioned you are. And so you can almost think of conditioning as your ability to do something relative to the total demand it places on your body to maintain that. And so if you think about it in terms of two systems. There's a system of what you're currently doing, and there's a system below that system that supports it. A very easy example of that is you think about an engine, you think about fuel. Now, you might be going the same speed if you have a Prius or you have an F-150, but the amount of fuel being used between the Prius and the F-150 is very different, even though they're both going 50 miles an hour. So the Prius is more conditioned to sustain longer outputs at 50 miles an hour. But the F-150 can pull a Prius easier than a Prius can probably pull a Prius, because the way the F-150 is built, the torque, the tow capacity. And so it's conditioned to carry load and pull load. And so in that case,
going somewhere else.
Yeah. Let me go. Yeah, to an extent, but essentially we have two systems, right? We have a system where we have to have an output that is pull something or go a certain speed. And then we have a system that supports that system in the same way your body works. If you have someone to say, hey, we're going to go play basketball for 10 minutes, very rarely are you going to run into a situation where a kid can't physically play basketball for 10 minutes. So they all complete the task of playing basketball for 10 minutes. The question is, at what cost will they complete that task? Are they going to be someone who does that and it takes 2 days to recover because they had to tap into, we can think of, deep reserves of fuel to get through it? Or is it someone who can do that and play again 2 hours later? And so when you start to think about condition, it's not just a completion of a task, but it's completion of a task relative to what I have to do in repetition afterwards. Can I do it again? And repeatability of it, and also the decrement of it. If I play 10 minutes in my 8th, 9th, and 10th minute, does my shooting percentage go down because of my physical demand placed on me to maintain the ability to play the game of sport, game of basketball? And so that's like the definition of conditioning. And within that, you have people who have issues with conditioning inside the game of basketball. Like an example is, if you've ever had to play big man before and you're not a big man, it's very different to constantly bump people and hit people. And it's way more fatiguing than if you are a big man, because you're not conditioned to be a big man. In the same way, if a big man had to play point guard, they would get tired very quick as well. And so it's not just the actual playing of the sport, it's the demands of the sport and what you're encountering.
The positions.
And
so I don't want to cut you off because you're killing it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Why does my biggest pain point, and all my teammates are, when the bigs couldn't make the conditioning test and we all had to do it again, right? Had to get to this line back in a certain amount of seconds. The bigs were always last. And you're like, dude, you got to get back. And it's like, that's not maybe what they should be even being conditioned to do in the first place.
When was the last time a big man had to run at near maximal speeds, stop and turn, and perform the same demands as that of a guard?
Right.
Typically, a big man will have an initial stride out. They'll take first, maybe sprint the lane initially. They'll slow down, and then they'll have a large break. It's very different than a wing who runs the lane. Maybe will go into a floppy action and cut under. So they're now running into another change direction and running, but the bigs now operate all within a framework of positioning that isn't even close to what the guard does.
Sure. Running sprints like that, is that just lazy conditioning as far as like being creative? Because you should come up with conditioning specifically for positions.
Yes.
Yeah.
The short answer is yes.
Not everybody should be running the same thing, doing the same thing under the same amount of time, because we all play different spots.
It's just understanding generalness. Someone's coach might be like, well, Max, I can't have a unique conditioning program for every person.
Yeah. Why does post guy get out of this and we have to do it? And
or even they might say, I can't make 12 individual conditioning programs for 12 of my athletes. And that's fair too. Right. Just categorize them. But typically what you're going to see in a big man is you're going to see very short bursts of motion and movement. They're not often running for score unless they're running in a lane. They're not going to be taking the ball up the court and pushing the tempo. And so they're typically very linear in how they run. And then when they operate on defense, they have hard hedges and shows. So single burst steps. They're often hands have to be somewhat up, very different than a guard, because you can be running off of an actual trailing someone. You're like sprinting in a motion. But a big is often hands have to be somewhere near the hips, because they're often using their length to either deter a pass or even block or get a rebound. And then the friction forces. So a lot of bigs get tired, and they get tired in their legs because they're so good at running up and down. But then when you bang into someone and bump into someone, that's actually requiring a lot of friction. Your feet hit the ground, that squeaky noise. But also they're having to resist someone. So they're producing a decent amount of muscular force to try and maintain their balance. And so it's like very different if you think about, and guards plays are very different. Like a certain point guard, if you're bringing the ball up the court and you're handling a press, there's a lot of stop and go, stop and go, stop and go. And that can be very tiring. And I think conditioning, for the most part, for most basketball players, misses out in 3 areas. The first area is decelerations. So often we just run, but you can look at the science behind it.
You get real tired when you start stop and go.
Stop and go, stop and go, stop and go. I will tell you right now, every basketball player would rather run one lap around the track than they would to run up and back the lane line. Even
I always thought sidelines were way harder than full courts. Sidelines, because you're always going back and forth. I was like, these are so much worse.
Exactly. And so that's one area. The second area, you have the deceleration. The second area is a maintenance of a body position. So like having to constantly, if you're dribbling a ball for 7 to 15 seconds, which hopefully you're not dribbling a ball for 15 seconds, right? You're being in a semi-active position. And that's where people's legs get tired. They don't have like the general, I won't call it strength, but we'll call it that for now, to hold some of those positions. And that's when you start to see guys not use their legs. They start to bend over, and they're not able to actually accelerate out of something. Because you think about basketball is about holding a position at times, whether you're on defense, whether you're on offense, and then it's accelerating out of that position. Very rarely is it this like extreme upright running. And that's the third area is people get obsessed with upright running. And you watch a basketball game, no one runs upright.
Never looks like that.
No one, it's too short of a court. These guys are too big. By the time you get a rebound to the free throw line, you're not going to run under the hoop. So the idea we run baseline to baseline is hilarious, because I've never in my entire life of basketball have run baseline to baseline in a basketball game. It's typically like free throw to 3-point line. And so like, no one's running baseline to baseline. And those are kind of the 3 areas I would consider.
So here's a question for you then. Let's say, we have some people that are doing some lazy conditioning as far as how they structure it. I'm a kid. I can't change the way that my coach is gonna run me. Should I be conditioning preseason for what position I'm gonna play, or should I be conditioning just to get through these silly drills that my coach is gonna test me on? That's where I think
that's a tough question.
I feel like kids will get caught into that, because there's some stuff obviously they should be doing, but then like, what can you do if your coach is just going to make you do these things?
So we've entered the realm of, does the general improve the specific, and can the specific improve the general? And so if I start to condition the way I outline, the more sports specific way, is that going to also help me have the conditioning of a very general conditioning, which is kind of just running up and down?
Run the sprints, yep.
And the answer is probably yes to an extent. Now, it's probably just because if you think about the complexity of sport-specific conditioning is far more complex. You're doing these cuts, change of direction and stuff. And it's still going to place demand on your cardiorespiratory fitness, but maybe some other areas as well. Versus running up and down might just be more cardio. And so you're kind of getting the addition of cardio with the specific stuff. So it'd be hard pressed for me to say like, oh, If you just
because coach is going to do sprints doesn't mean you should just do sprints for your conditioning.
Yeah, and you won't do well either. And so I see a lot of like silly conditioning in practice where you see a big man will jump up and down 6 times, 7 times and get a rebound. Then they'll throw an outlet pass and then they'll run the lane. And then they got to touch the backboard 6 or 7 times and shoot a layup and then come back down. And the coach is yelling at them. And the question is, if you're working on everything at once, are you really working on anything? So why are we doing this very random conditioning, which I'm not sure how often a big man often gets a rebound, passes the outlet, and gets a fill? Like, it might happen once or twice in a season, like in a game. Maybe
you're saying let's be a little bit more. Let's break that up a little bit and be more specific with.
Yeah, if you're going to work on rebounding, work on rebounding. If you're going to work on running, work on running. If you're going to work on an outlet pass, work on an outlet pass. I think it's silly. Well, here I'm going to stop you before I go any further. Like a lot of coaches, it's this like utopic view, and they want to train the things that they hope occur in basketball. Like I would love if my big man passed it out and ran hard to fill the lane. Happens never. Like it's just not going to happen. So why is my entire determination of conditioning going to be predicated on something that happens so rarely?
Sure. Okay. I did a conditioning drill in the summer. I don't know why we're doing conditioning in the summer. It was mixed with some plyo work, but it was a resistance band. You start in the corner and he's got like zigzag dribbling basically, right? You hit the elbow, then the half court line, then the elbow, but we just had to resistance band zigzag run in that pattern and then go touch the rim, get a rim touch. And we just go up and back down. How would you rate 1 through 10, something like that? That was resistance band running, change the direction kind of, I guess. And then a jump.
Yeah. I mean, it's better than just doing something extremely arbitrary, like just like sprinting.
Sure.
It's not bad, but the question also people need to layer into the conditioning is what are you doing after as well? And what I mean by that is you can rank conditioning drill in isolation. Like that's a great conditioning drill. It makes you tired. It makes you work hard, does the right things. But then if you're going to go work on your skills afterwards in a hyper fatigued state, are you really going to actually improve your skills? Right. And so while I can say, sure, it's a great conditioning drill, it sounds like it's covering a lot of the bases. Is there a way to quantify improvement? Are you measuring time? Are you measuring jump height? Are you measuring speed of completion to actually know you're getting better?
Or are we just doing this to do it? Yeah.
And then if you're just doing it to do it, are you really running fast? Your fastest? Like if you're not competing, are you really going as fast as you would in a game? Are you realizing there's 3 cuts? So the first 2 cuts, you don't really go as hard versus in a game, you're reacting to it. And so anytime you can add competition, it would get better. So I don't know. I'd give it a 5.5 out of 10.
Okay.
Like I'm a tough scorer. I'd rather have someone just compete.
Yeah. Okay. So think about this too. Like I think some kids and players and coaches have this question. Would you do your conditioning? You're going to do conditioning after you do skills, right? Or after you play? You would?
As long as it doesn't hinder. I would do conditioning as long as it doesn't hinder what we're trying to accomplish or get in the way of.
Okay. That's a good way to put it.
Like a lot of coaches say, go ahead. Sorry, I'm interrupting. Brendan's going to kill us for these interruptions. My bad, B.
What about playing? Do you think that's a good enough way to condition for players? If preseason, I'm just going to play 3s and 5s.
I mean, people don't play hard enough normally.
Okay. As long as
they can play hard. Yeah, you got to play hard. Try. And the biggest area is defense. It's the biggest area where people get lazy on and probably the biggest area of fatigue. No one's tired on offense. Everyone's tired on defense. And the reason is you might play a team that makes you actually move and be active for 30 seconds, for 25 seconds on the defensive end. Sure. And they're running you off of screens. And that's where it's most tiring. And when you play for an hour and 30 minutes and pick up, how many of those possessions are you actually trying on defense? 100%, 2, 1, maybe like. And then, so how conditioned are you getting really good at going 75%? So you're getting good at just kind of not really getting good. And that's the question you got to ask yourself. Same with lifting. People go, should I lift before or after practice? Well,
sure.
If you lift before practice and you're sore and tired and it messes up your shot a little bit, even at all, and you're going to go shoot hoops to learn how to shoot well, because you're tired and fatigued, then you're going to shoot in a different way. And they go, oh, you should shoot when you're tired. Well, that's stupid. Don't say that, because here's why. If I go and lift weights, yeah, it's dumb. If I go and lift weights and let's say I do a bunch of bicep curls and overhead press. All right, let's just say that's my workout. Sick workout. Yeah, people do that, right? And maybe they do some squats. Let's say they do some squats. Okay. They don't jump, they just do a bunch of squats and they go and shoot. Now there's quads are asymmetrically fatigued to other areas in the body. The fatigue is not generally equal. The fatigue you play in basketball might drain. Let's say you play a basketball game, and remember the old 2K games, we had the little fatigue meter. And let's say we have a fatigue meter on each muscle. And when you play a basketball game, muscles fatigue at a certain percent. That's probably consistent between basketball games. So like after my basketball game, my quads are 70% ready to go. My calves are 60%, my glutes 80, whatever. So it's like your whole body fatigues and muscles fatigue at certain rates. Now I've just randomly done a bunch of squats. My quads are extremely fatigued, but nothing else is. So my body's going to be like, look, dude, your quads are really tired. Let me compensate and find a way. So we have redundancy, many different ways to solve a given motor task, that is to shoot a basketball. So then you'll see someone change their movement pattern without even understanding why they're changing it, because their quads were tired. And so if you're actually trying to, mimic the fatigue of a game and then do your shots, that's fine, because you have to do on court like fatigue and run. And I think there is a time and place to have to shoot under some fatigue, not shoot 150 shots, mind you, maybe some shots. But I don't think this assumption that just lifting weights and going to shoot isn't going to do any harm, because no one would say the opposite. Like no one would say, I'm going to go, imagine you're an artist and you go do a bunch of bicep curls and you got paint. Your stroke for your brush be all over the place. And so just because we can't finally see it like you would see the errors made of a paintbrush when you're really tired, why shouldn't we say that's the case in shooting hoops as well, especially when it's just like asymmetrical fatigue?
Is there a way to use fatigue in a positive way? Or is there a certain cutoff where it's just like, we're too tired to do much, we need to rest?
It's a good question. I don't think there's a clear-cut answer. I think you can, what's the relevance of fatigue in your game? Like how many guys actually get that tired in a game? Maybe some do, maybe some don't. And if that's the case, maybe working on some skills when you are fatigued, but then you also have to remember you pay the piper when you get that tired. So like how often can you get that tired and work on your skills?
Right.
That's a really like tricky line to walk, because you're constantly getting that tired to work on your skills. How are you recovering? You're basically imposing the fatigue of a whole game on you and then trying to shoot at the end of it. I don't know. It's a very tough question. And also, do people really miss shots because of fatigue? That's a great also like random assumption we have, that people will just miss shots because they're sure, like extreme exhaustion. You can see it in some games, and dudes are just absolutely trashed. I've played basketball games my whole life. I cannot remember the last time I missed a shot because I was tired.
I'd have to be like hands on my knees, like tired to really like fatigue. I think it's kind of hard to describe, I feel like that word is tough to describe.
Maybe 2 hours in a pickup game, I've shot some shots. I'm like, yeah, my legs are gone. But in a basketball game, very rarely do you miss it because you're fatigued. It's footwork, it's positioning, it's awareness.
Sure.
Sometimes you just miss shots.
So if I'm going to work on my conditioning, let's be position specific. If I'm a coach, being a little bit more specific with my players and putting them in different groups, and then adding competition or some sort of way to measure how we're doing things is kind of the way to go.
And being thoughtful, like not all players are having the same areas limiting their condition.
Sure.
Just because you're a point guard, and if you really want to be a thoughtful coach, not all players are getting tired doing the same thing. So you can ask, believe it or not, you can ask a player if they're fatigued. Like, what a novel idea. And I know we don't ask players that. They'll say no, but you're like, no, I really want to understand. Like, do you get tired in these situations? When do you get fatigued? How does fatigue affect you? Because it might affect players differently. And unless you know how it's affecting them and why they're getting tired, then we're just making these really large assumptions around the idea of quote unquote being in shape. Because coaches love to say, let's get them in shape, let's run them. And how many years have people ran and still not been in shape in the coach's eyes? I don't know, eternity. So how can we then assume that maybe that model's wrong? Why don't we just assume that model's wrong? And there's a lot of reasoning why that is wrong. And then we can use our thoughtful, critical thinking brains to come up with a better solution to that problem.
Sure. Yeah. What do you think about like 5-on-0, come up and down the floor, run your lane, those type of drills?
Whatever. Like, what do you think about them?
I don't know. I mean,
I've never gotten better at offense because of it. I've never gotten,
right.
you mean do it once or twice, maybe. I can
I think
understand like high school kids doing it too, and just kind of like understanding spacing, especially when kids have never been taught spacing.
Was a big thing. Yeah. Spacing without defenders, I think, or cones put out there, I think is hard for youth players. Even for me when I got to college, if the 3-on-0 movements and the 5-on-0 movements, just because I was just from this small town running a lot of sets, that actually helped. But once you get, halfway through your freshman year, especially your sophomore, junior, senior year, like, dude, why do we got? I know that I'm supposed to run outside the volleyball pole, get to that corner, then cut across. Like, I know all.
But
those
you
movements.
shouldn't run outside the volleyball pole sometimes. And I think this whole model is so silly. So let's just pretend we
run
should
wide. Is that what you're talking about?
Let's just pretend we should run wide, despite coaches not liking kids shooting threes and even fast breaks and you're running wide to get open for a 3-point shot. That's okay. Let's just say we want this thing to work. We've had so many coaches do 5-on-0 running around poles and so many coaches not have it work, yet we still do it. Like, how many coaches have done that and been like, yes, now we objectively run wider in our lanes? Like, maybe there's a better way. I'm not saying it's the worst way. Then probably a worse way.
Right.
But why don't we, as a coaching society, actually think about, like,
challenge
maybe
some of those drills,
doesn't work? Because how many coaches have done that? And then the last week of practice, you're still doing the same stupid drill. And you're like, well, coach, if this worked the first time, it would have worked now. Like, can we stop doing this dumb drill?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's kind of the theme with a lot of topics that we bring up is like, we have to spend time rethinking on why we do things and what they're actually giving us.
And so here's
one thing that I talked to you.
Go ahead. You got it.
One thing I talked to you about kind of almost when we first met, was just figuring out, like, and this was, I don't know, 2 years ago or something, but just like, why are you doing things, and are you getting results because of that drill or accidentally because of something else? And as a skills guy, I was just like, you know what? I think we all have to kind of audit everything, all these drills that we do, and figure out, like, is this happening because of this drill? Like, are we better because we're running weave and getting all these good passes because of weave? Or is weave just something my players are getting through just to get it over with?
Well, that's a lot of credit to yourself, because it's easy for someone like, why is this guy asking me this question? I remember we did it once and Reed was shooting step backs. And I was like, Reed, why are you shooting a step back?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, it makes sense.
It was like another drill too, though. It was like when he was really, really tired and like we were doing some sort of like shooting challenge and he just like couldn't get it. And it was brought up like, well, let's just take a break. Why do we have to get this drill? What's the point of, I don't know, dominating this drill?
Yeah, it's just I can come off, I guess, as an asshole by asking that. And so you took it very well. Like, you're like, why is this guy at my skill session asking this?
Yeah.
Because, you could be like, this is maybe an inappropriate place to ask it. But I think we should ask those questions the same way you should ask, Max, why are you doing this exercise with him? Or why do you think that's important? Because in the day, I'm having him do exercises to help foster certain skills. And if we're just doing random skills that are not being, the success of that skill is not dependent on anything we're actually trying to achieve of significance, like whether or not we can make X number of threes in this challenge thing, and then we just get really tired and it ruins the rest of our day. Like, what's the point of that?
It's just driven by, I got to get this done before I leave, rather than I'm going to continue to get better for the next 10 minutes. It's just like, I can't leave the gym until I do this, which is silly.
Too many guys tire themselves out unwarrantedly in the gym and wear it as a badge of honor. And too many coaches preach that as a badge of honor. And they say, you got to wake up, you got to work out three times a day. You have to do this, you have to do that. And no one gives any player any guidance. It just work really hard. And trust me, guys, I worked really hard and I didn't go anywhere really. And so the question is it work or is it effective work? There's a very famous, you ever watch SpongeBob? I'm assuming yes.
Oh yeah.
Remember when he battles Poseidon in the hamburger cookout?
Yes.
And Poseidon makes 1,000 hamburgers and SpongeBob makes one. He's like making it with care. And he sings a song and puts the patty on it. That's the definition of effectiveness versus efficiency. Poseidon was the most efficient cook there was. He made 1,000 hamburgers and got all the things done, but none of the burgers tasted any good. SpongeBob made one hamburger and it made Poseidon cry. It was so tasty. And so often we don't ask about effectiveness because that's so hard. It's easy to measure.
It is difficult. It is difficult.
It's easy to measure
especially
how
in basketball.
efficient you were. You can be like, I shot so many shots.
Mm-hmm.
But in reality, the irony is if you shoot so many shots and don't get any better, that was a waste of time. You're actually the least effective person in history. There's some guys, you might have been better just not even shooting. The fact of the matter is some days in your shooting drills, you actually probably would get better not shooting a basketball. I know many people have felt that when they've taken a time off, they come back and shoot and they shoot.
Oh, I said that in a podcast not long ago. Was I'd take a day off and I'd get the ball in my hands the next couple of days. I'd be like, damn, this feels good right now.
Yeah. And so the question is, not every action we do yields a positive result. And the question you need to ask yourself, am I being effective? Or am I simply, quote unquote, measuring some realm of efficiency, which, if you make the world's worst hamburgers, I don't care how many you make, no one wants to. They don't taste very good.
Suck.
Yeah.
So that's interesting because basketball training, especially like when we were coming up, and for a while still to today, it's about reps. It's about working hard, like you said, but effectiveness. I feel like that is a term, and that's it's hard for kids, I think, to understand, and it's hard for them to know, like, was this effective? And how do I measure that? Is it the next game I play better and I do a move that I worked on? You know what I mean?
It's
I
tough.
feel like that's difficult.
There are a lot of unanswered things in that realm because people are afraid to go into it. We just keep erring on efficiency, or not even efficiency, but something we can measure that maybe is totally arbitrary. And then we say, oh, you can't measure effectiveness just because it's difficult. And then no one ventures into those waters. And so
nobody goes to it. Yeah.
And then no one can understand it. So we constantly have people orbiting around the idea of effectiveness. And no one wants to go into that realm because it's a realm of unknown.
It's like a mind. Yeah. It messes with your mind.
Well, it's ignorance is bliss. Routes. You rather just let's know.
Ignore it and just say reps on reps on reps on reps. And
what's the easy way? One way you can pretend to be right. And one way you can actually figure out what might be right. Being effective, you're just like doing reps and reps and reps. You're basically admitting chance is now at play,
right?
And versus like actually trying to understand what's going to get you better. And people get really mad. They say, "Well, you don't have an answer, Max, to what's effective." No, I don't. Otherwise, I'd be on an island. I'd be worth tons of money, and I'd be in the NBA myself because I'd be so rich from training all these people on how to be effective. The question is, if you don't know how it's effective, then you don't either. Because I'm asking that question doesn't make me wrong. It makes the fact that all of us are probably wrong.
Whoever's ignoring it. And I feel like the more you at least accept that and you don't hide from it and you try at least to think of what can be effective, even if it feels a little bit foreign and you're not sure, if you just keep trying and kind of auditing what you're doing, I feel like it's going to be better than just ignoring, obviously.
You're just trying to get better. You're trying to get closer to right than closer to wrong. And if you're just measure or just trying to do like reps and reps and reps and do all this stuff, or just arbitrary conditioning, right? That's the great example. Tie that together here. The arbitrary conditioning has no means of effectiveness. How many times have you ran people and you run them over and over again, and eventually they make the lines? Now, because they made the lines, are they playing any more conditioned in the game? Do you have any things that track that measure that, their heart rate, the things like their movement velocities? Can you do things like their performance as a whole? Imagine if you got someone in better shape and their performance didn't improve. Did that actually help them play basketball better? The answer is no. The answer is factually no. And so people want to quote unquote get them in shape, but if it has no bearing on their performance, what shape are you getting them in? And people don't want to ask that question. It's just like, oh, you can't ask that. That might show me I'm wrong. Like,
so, okay, last thing, because I know we got to get going, but how will I've always found it difficult, even for myself, being fully transparent here, to figure out, like, okay, you have a client list, you have testimonials, you have people that play at a high level, but in the back of my head, I'm just like, and I'll see other people's client lists and things like that. I'm like, yeah, I don't care. To me, I just like, it doesn't matter because I probably helped some. Maybe I made some even worse. Maybe I didn't make them better or worse at all. Maybe I just was there for them. I have no idea. But regardless, a lot of these players, probably all of them, will, especially the high level ones, would have gone high level with or without me. And I feel like whenever I felt a trainer or a coach lean on their successful players, I always just found it like, dude, that had nothing to do with you.
What is it? Every success story has 1,000 parents and every failure is an orphan. That's how it works. So people like it's a great. Stan Van Gundy had a hilarious line last night. Did you hear that game last night? No. I can't remember who was playing. The Hawks were playing. And
Hawks and the Mavs, yeah.
And this is no gas or no ding on the trainer, so I apologize, my friend. I know it's not your fault. You do a good job, probably. But Stan Van Gundy was brought up that Trae Young got some shots up with his trainer recently, and now he's shooting better. It's the same trainer as Steph Curry's shooting. And Stan Van Gundy goes, "That trainer sure knows how to pick the right shooters." I could be Steph Curry's shooting coach.
Can you imagine? That'd make you a full-on career.
Right, he said, he goes, "I want to see the guy." He goes, "I want to see the guy who took Ben Simmons into a 75% free throw shooter. That's the guy I want to see. Or I want to see the guy who took someone who wasn't going to be there and get there." He's like, no offense to the guy, but like saying you're Steph Curry and Trae Young shooting coach, you're like, oh, it's
it's not as impressive as something else,
But externally, everyone's like, that's the clients they work with. They must be this, they must be that.
Exactly.
And no one has like any like backstory of attempts to be effective. It's just like, here are my clients and here how successful they were. And then therefore I know everything. And it's so silly because you look at like true science and like guys who invent things. You can say, no guy who's invented something be like, trust me, I have lots of inventions. You just never seen them. Like there's a hard, tangible thing. I made a light bulb. I made a car. I made an airplane. It's non-debatable. And the issue about ours is we're always vicariously through someone else. And so it's always self-justifying. I did this and I'm responsible for this. You did not give birth to the kid. Like the parents, I guess, are the ones who have all the credit to the success of the athlete.
Yeah.
Like
I created this.
You didn't make the person. What are you talking about? Versus, and that's the difference between our world where we're dealing with human to human interaction and trying to use the same justification principles between that and like people who actually invent stuff and say like, look, they invented this, so therefore they know. Like that's not really true because it's not like the light bulb would accidentally one day make itself a light bulb. It had to actually be created. But this player, with or without you, you don't know. So you could never measure the null hypothesis or whatever, like the separate outcome of was this person actually helpful. And so it's very interesting. And everyone wants to have successes, but no one wants to talk about failures. And it's bad for the brand or whatever. It's just unfortunate, but that's the way it is. So to tie it back together, though, like let's just try and be effective. And we're talking about conditioning and some of the drills.
Try to be effective,
and just do our best to really think critically about some of these things.
I love it, man.
All right, so hang around, guys. We got a couple of extra segments at the end of this. We're going to be doing a can you stump Max? Mess with Max. Shane's going to rattle off you friends, the old Pokemon days where it's guess that Pokemon. There's a silhouette. Now it's guess that basketball player. The rules are I need to have a college from the basketball player because I don't know players from overseas. I'm going to try and guess that NBA player based on stats in their college and some fun things. And Shane's going to try and stump me. And at the end of that, we have a bonus segment where we go into drafting your favorite Disney Channel original movies. We're both 30 years old. We both grew up in the time where we love Disney Channel original movies. And so we'll stick that at the end of the segment here. So for those of you here for the basketball, you heard the basketball topic and you can dip out now if you'd like.
It's going to get better.
Stick around because we have a little fun here and you can hear Shane absolutely butcher and mangle his draft picks, but that's okay. So all right, stick around. We'll get into those in a second and we'll take a break right now. Guess this player. I am 6'6", 195 pounds, 24 years old. I'm not going to say my alma mater because that might give me away.
I'm 6'6", 195 pounds.
That doesn't seem accurate now that I read it out loud. That's what ESPN has them rated.
All right.
Weight at.
Is he slender? Is he skinny?
I'm not done yet. We'll give you some more to it. I am shooting 34.5% from the 3-point line, 90% from the free throw line, and averaging 30.5 points a game.
Oh, averaging 30.5?
Am
6'6"?
Yeah, you can't look it up either.
I'm not looking this up. 6'6", 195, averaging 30. Okay, come on, Shane.
Shooting 90% from the free throw line, 34% from the 3-point line.
Who the hell is that? Who's averaging 30 a game right now?
There's a handful. Shane is absolutely stumped by this.
I feel like, this game's gonna make me upset. Oh.
All right, you can phone. We can phone a friend here. We'll go to alma mater.
Okay.
My alma mater is Kentucky.
Ooh, okay.
I should have given it away right there. There's a couple of guys who could, I guess, fit that, but there's one guy in particular.
Wait, how old is he? Because I'm thinking of an old guy.
It's 24 years old. I'm shooting.
Oh,
50%.
He's got to be on like some. He's got to be on some average or low.
I'm averaging 4.9 rebounds a game, 5 assists a game, and shooting 50% from the field.
Gotta be an all-star.
Oh yeah.
Kentucky, 24. So he just came out.
I am 24. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Oh yeah, Shai Gilgeous. There you go.
Wow,
that's not bad.
He's a unique scorer. He's got a really weird game.
All right, let me.
The 90% from the free throw line caught me off guard.
That's impressive.
That's very good.
Let me see if I can get a difficult one for you.
Oh, wait. I don't think it's gonna be that hard to get a difficult one for me. Just take anybody. It's gonna be kind of tough. You can't go obscure here. If it's obscure, you got to throw in.
I'll give you some. Yep, I'll give you some. Okay, because I just saw this guy pop up on my feed today. All right. This player was drafted in 2016, 9th pick, which I did not know. He's from Austria. It says he attended Utah. 7'1", 27 years old.
Jacob Hurdle.
Yes, sir. Did you see they just
finished? No, I didn't. He said, "I just know I know my college basketball. You throw Utah out there." Jakob, yes.
Yeah. I think the Spurs, I saw some posts, who knows if it's true, they're asking like multiple first round picks for him, which I don't know. No idea. It feels like everybody's after a bunch of picks right now, which makes sense.
The way it goes. They're trying to get picks so they can load up, so they can trade they can justify losing so they can get Wembanyama. All right. Next one. I won't give his origin.
Mm-hmm.
He did not go to college in the US. How about that? We'll put it that way.
Okay.
I am 20 years old. I am 6'8", 216 pounds. I was the 6th pick overall. I'm not saying which year. Right now, I'm averaging 16 points, 6 assists, shooting 33.3% from the field.
20 years old, 16 and 6, 33.3% from the field.
I was the 6th pick overall in 2021.
Who the hell was 6th pick in 2021? Oh, God. Okay, give me something else. One more. I
am popular on TikTok.
Oh, man. I feel like I should probably know that then. I'm on TikTok all the time.
Oh my God.
I have no idea.
Josh Giddey.
No idea. Oh, yeah, there you go. That's good. Josh Giddey. God, I'm failing. It's tough.
This is going to require some Brendan edits here to make sure we don't have dramatic long pauses. Maybe you can put some fun music in the back.
Okay. I'm going to give you a stat line that's very obscure, okay? And see if you can guess who this might be.
Is it a stat line, a single game, or is it a
single game stat line? I'll give you some other hints too, but I'll give you this. All right. 12 rebounds, 10 assists, and 10 steals.
It's either Ben Simmons or Draymond Green.
It's Draymond.
Yeah, it's one of two. There's only 2 guys who are going to have that stat line. So far, by the way, I'm demolishing this game.
Yeah,
you guys throw another one at me.
2-0. It's 2-0.
All right. I'll give you another one here.
Okay. Yeah.
I have it right here. I'm going to get my phone up. All right. We're going now. I am 22 years old.
All right. Young buck.
I average 20 points a game, 10 assists a game. I'm shooting from the field, actually from the 3-point line, let's just say, 40%. And I average.
Old.
Yep, he's averaging total points. What did I say? What did I give you the wrong stat? I should have given. No, I gave you the right stat. I'm always right. 20, 10, and 40% from the field. 10 assists.
20 points a game.
Yep, 10 assists.
10 assists?
Yep, I'm 22 years old. I'm 6'5", 185 pounds.
Freaking Halliburton.
Yeah, Tyrese. There you go.
Let's go. Let's go.
You got one.
2-1
I can't give you the school, otherwise that's an easy giveaway with him.
I would say, yeah. Okay. Let me see if I pull up. Let me see if I can just get in the depths here. Let's see.
I don't think if you gave me the college, I'd miss a player.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I can name any player if you give me the college. Okay.
You know what? I'm going to try right here.
I would struggle with Kentucky guys. That's like one team I would struggle with because it's such a random assortment of people.
Weird stat. Steals, I feel like, is kind of a weird. Okay, I got one. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I got to give you the college for this. He's leading the league in steals. So he's a good defender. He's averaging 17.6 a game. He's in the trade rumors. And he's 25 years old, 6'7", 232.
Am I not getting the college? Or am I getting the college?
You are. I was just going to see if you could get it from that. He's been in the league for 5 years. Indiana, 6'7", 25 years old. This should be, you remember Stump the Schwab? This should be Stump Max right here.
Stump the Schwab. Indiana. Wow, that's an interesting. He's 20. How old is he?
This is the segment. Mix up Max. He is 25 years old. Indiana. He's from the United Kingdom. I'll give you that.
From the University of Indiana.
Yes.
They had a guy drafted that they stunk for so long.
He plays like the 3-2-3, maybe a little 4. I have no idea.
I might lose this first one. My claim to fame. I did not. Then I heard defense and security. I was thinking like Lou Dort, Arizona State.
He's a Lou Dort.
Yeah,
type.
You pull out Indiana. I guess like OG Anunoby is the only guy who fits him.
That's him.
Okay, that's the only guy who's been drafted in that realm. And I guess OG Anunoby. There we go.
All right.
He's leading the league in steals.
We're mixing up Max. This is the segment. He's
way.
1 for 1. How many steals? 2.2 a game. All right.
I guess
we're gonna move on.
He's a big man. He could steal.
I got another one for you.
All right. Yeah. Throw it at me. If I get a college team, I'm gonna get it.
I'm gonna give you 5s. Okay. I'm gonna give you 5. Would you like the college team right away or later?
Right off the bat.
Duke.
All right.
18.5 a game.
Oh, you know what? I could probably guess it right there. My guess is Luke Kennard.
No,
really. Okay. I think he's averaging like 18 a game because I literally just looked up his stats. So go ahead. That was such a ridiculous shot.
He was picked to 2018 round 2, 37th.
He's averaging 18 a game.
24 years old, 6'5". I don't know, 209 pounds. He's from. He went to Duke. Been in the league for 4 years.
Golly, 18 a game he's averaging.
Yep, he is a good scorer.
I really felt good with Luke Kennard, and I was really disappointed it wasn't him. I was really excited that I was going to get that spot on just out of the blue. I should get a timer out here because now I'm a bit off what I can choose.
I'll give you some. I'll give you some college. Sorry, I'll give you some college. Some college stats here. He broke JJ Redick's freshman record with 97 3-pointers as a Blue Devil, 27 in 18.
Not Luke Kennard.
His dad played in the league for my beloved Timberwolves. His dad wasn't a great player, but he was in the league. Where did he?
I mean,
Luke Kennard. He is a 2-guard though.
How? What's his height?
He's 6'5", 2-guard. He's definitely a 2. Is
it really one of the Jones brothers?
Maybe a 2-3, not a Jones brother.
Nah, I've shot too many shots probably at this point.
All right. It's Gary Trent Jr.
Oh, you know what?
Remember him?
I do know. I watched him play last night. He broke JJ Redick's 3-point shooting record as a freshman?
I guess.
God,
I guess he did. All right.
That's the part that threw me for an absolute loop because Gary Trent Jr. That makes sense. The point total he's at.
Yeah.
And it makes sense with the 3-point prowess. I didn't know he shot that well in college. I watched him play in college. I don't remember him being a flamethrower like that. He's in the NBA.
Yeah. Yep. I'm gonna see if I can get okay, this might be a good one. 19 2 points a game, 5.5 rebounds, 5.6 assists, 6'4", 22 years old. He's from USC.
He's 22?
22, USC.
And what's the height?
19 a game. 6'4". He plays like a 1 through a 3.
Kevin Porter Jr.?
Yes. Wow, Max. 2 for 3.
There we go.
It was so easy.
I didn't realize he's that old. I thought he was like 20 still.
I feel like this one might be a little bit.
He didn't even finish his college career.
Ready?
I think he was suspended by Andy Enfield. Fun fact. I think so. I could be wrong.
2 for 3. 2 more left. This guy's from UCLA. 6'9", 29 years old. I hate watching him play. 8.1 points a game. Actually, you know what? I take that back. I don't hate watching him play. Yeah, UCLA.
Yeah, you hate Ryan. It's Ryan Anderson, slow-mo.
Kyle Anderson.
Kyle? Is that Kyle? I always get right. Sorry, Ryan Anderson. Sorry. Former Cal product, Ryan
Dude,
Anderson.
I think we count that one, Brendan.
That's fine. That counts. Sorry, Kyle. Yeah. I said slow-mo. That's his nickname.
Yeah, you did say slow-mo, so I feel like that's automatic.
Ryan Anderson's a Cal product who was the first stretch 4. Remember him?
Ryan, yeah, bro. Ryan had a strap. Okay. Let's see. All right. Let's get deep. Let's get a little deeper at this. Arizona. 30 years old.
Oh.
6'1".
McConnell.
6 points. Yeah, what the hell, bro? What?
That's it.
How? You watched him play in Arizona? You just know?
I just know. That was instant. That was easy.
God. That's
too easy. I have trouble. Right. Don't give me any Kentucky guys. I'm really bad at Kentucky because I don't watch them enough, and they're one and done. And I had no idea. There's a lot of guys in the league who I didn't realize played at Kentucky, especially like the COVID year. All right, give me another one. I'm hot right now.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
Let's get hard. 8th man off the bench. I don't care where you go.
All right. Okay. Here we go. This one's tough. Georgia, 6'11",
Nick Claxton.
12 points a game. Jesus, bro. What? Nick Claxton.
Got that one. Easy.
All right.
You can just
he told me not to go here. Kentucky, 25 years old, 7 foot tall.
What is it? Don't say it. It's Nick Richards.
Yeah. Oh my God. All right. I gotta find. I'm gonna keep going until you literally can't get this. All right. Here's a good one. Arkansas, 27 years old, 6'11", 14.2 points a game, 10 rebounds a game.
Should get this on stats. He played at Arkansas, 6'11", big man, Bobby Portis.
Yes, like he just had to say it in his head. You see that, Brendan?
I had to walk through it, and I was like, BP. This is the only guy. He was like a really big recruit, and then they didn't get anyone else. It was very weird.
Does Max know this guy though? Washington.
Oh, probably
2020 draft pick.
2020 you said?
2020 pick 16 in the first round. 21 years old.
McDaniels.
6'8".
Isn't it one of the McDaniels? No.
Nope.
Washington had a draft pick. Had 6'8".
Yeah.
Washington's great to have just arbitrary giant wings.
Yeah, I know.
They just have
this guy is 6'8". He's 250. So he's
that would have given away. That's beef stew.
Beef stew.
Should have waited for the
beef
size.
Stew.
But I think
I should have. I got to give you the.
That's on me. No, that's on me. He's 6'8". That's all. I thought he was like 6'11".
Yeah, let's just keep rattling off because we can do the silhouette with these guys. Auburn rookie. I feel like that's all I want to give you. 7 feet tall. Auburn rookie, 7 feet tall.
Walker Kessler.
All right, let's get deeper. You know what?
Just start picking like the depths of players. Find anyone. Minimal stats even. I don't even care.
I'm in the offensive rebound leaders. That's where I'm at. I'm trying to get like who would ever be on this list. All right, here we go. TCU.
Oh wait, no. I can. Oh, go ahead. I'm pretty sure I know who it is though. Can I get a free shot right now? Is it Dean Wade? No, he's Kansas State. That's wrong, Purple.
Yeah,
that's a great arbitrary. That's a great arbitrary guy who I didn't realize was in the NBA. No hate towards Dean Wade.
Dean Wade.
I saw him play. Yeah, he's good. But I saw him play, and I was like, oh, he's actually so much better now than he was in college.
TCU, 4 years, undrafted, 6'6", 210.
That's a very generic NBA style.
That's how I describe kind of his position as well. I don't know where.
Well, how old is he?
28 years old, so he's a little older. He's been in the league for 4 years. Born in 1994, December 2nd, 210 pounds, from the U.S., 7.6 points a game, 4.7 rebounds a game. He is known. His nickname is Blank Hustle.
I'm not gonna know. I don't know TC. I think
Kenrich Williams.
Yeah, that's a. You know what?
That might be one of the hardest ones right there.
That's a very, very difficult one.
If you were to see the silhouette, that might be.
That hair is very specific. That's very hair is very memorable. I'm not sure if that was like a head shape or a hair shape.
I want to find one that's like easier for other people to guess, but somebody that might stump you. Okay, Texas, 6'9". I didn't know he was 6'9". I thought he was taller. Texas, 6'9", 5 years in the league, 24 years old, 14 a game, about 10 a game rebounds. First round pick, 2017, and he was picked 22nd.
How much is he averaging?
6'9", 240. He's averaging 14 a game, and 10 rebounds. Hold on. I gotta get you a different stat too, because his stat that he's kind of known for is not there.
There's only
averaging a decent amount of blocks. I'll say that. I don't know where that stat's at on this site, but Texas.
How old is he?
He is 24, and he's been in the league 5 years. If you saw his silhouette, you'd be able to pick it out.
Because not Jericho Sims. It's not
Jericho.
It's not the other big who played with him with the curly hair, plays in New Orleans.
No.
It's another big. There's a third Texas big I'm not aware of.
Shot blocker.
Texas has just like perennial shot blockers.
He's what? Their team's actually doing pretty well.
I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna not get this one. Texas is destroying the state of Texas. TCU got me.
He's a center.
6'9".
Yeah, you're gonna hate when I say it.
I can guess like Robert Williams or something.
Jarrett Allen.
He did go to Texas. I always think USC in my head. That's true.
Oh, this guy.
That's very good.
You want to try an international?
Sure, just throw a guy. I'm now defeated here. It's stupid state of Texas. If I lose, apparently. Yeah, Jarrett Allen. That's a good pick.
This guy the school he attended was Edgewater High School in Florida. He's 6'3", 23 years old, 181 pounds. He's a 2 guard, and he's averaging 21.7 points a game right now. 4 years of experience.
I don't know.
You went to IMG, actually.
I have no idea. I don't keep track of. You can't give me an arbitrary high school kid who went to some.
Who is it? Anthony Simons.
Yeah, that's right. That's fair. He's good.
Okay. Here we go.
Give me a college one, then we can move on to something else. Give me a good one. A player who played in college.
I really didn't mean to do this, but I just randomly selected this guy. Kentucky.
Gosh darn it.
2014. That's a while ago. 2014. He's 28 years old. He was picked number 7. 6'8", 250, averaging 24.2 a game plus 10.7 rebounds.
24 a game?
6'8", 250.
I mean, the only guy can even score that much is Cat, but he's taller than that.
He's not Cat. He's a little. He's older than Cat.
Bam Adebayo?
Nope. It is. Is that your last guess?
Yeah, I can't do Kentucky. It's like
Julius Randle.
How old is he?
He is 28 right now.
Gosh, he's actually a lot younger than I thought. In my head, Julius Randle's like 32.
Oh yeah, he got picked up by the Lakers that year. Remember that? Then he got traded.
Jeez Louise. Don't pick a Kentucky
Good
guy.
round, though.
No, give me someone who's not Kentucky. That's BS.
Okay.
I refuse Kentucky.
Right. All right.
I don't watch enough Kentucky. They have so many players. It's like one of 75 guys I got to pick from.
If I said Vanderbilt, who do you think I'm talking about?
Darius Garland.
Yes. Okay. See, I'm not going that route.
Scottie Pippen Jr.
All right. Ready?
Yep.
Last one.
Last one.
Not Kentucky. This player played at Utah. He's 6'9", 220. And he's
Kyle Kuzma.
Years old. Boom.
Kuzma.
Goose.
Random Utah guy. How about this? A best basketball scenes in non-basketball specific movies.
Best basketball scenes and not okay. I got one. I have my best one.
All right, you can go first.
I have to go first because if you take it, I have none. All right. The best basketball scene in a non-basketball movie is Along Came Polly with Ben Stiller, where Seymour Hoffman is tossing up absolute moonshots and just yelling raindrop and just like hits the backboard. And then Ben Stiller's guarding the guy, takes his shirt off, just face gets like belly rubbed all the way down. That is one of my favorite basketball scenes probably ever.
Oh my gosh.
Probably ever.
Okay.
I don't even care about basketball movies. That's the best one.
I'm excited for the audience to hear me dunk on you on this. So I got a couple
you
here.
have one better than that.
I got a lot. First off, the original Teen Wolf is the undefeated non.
Isn't that a basketball movie though?
It's a very.
I mean, there's a lot.
That's a narrow line. So we'll give it a pass. We'll say it's a basketball movie.
Right. That's a good movie though.
The original
great
Teen Wolf,
movie though. Teen Wolf.
He's the best basketball playing actor. The guy who plays Teen Wolf clearly could hoop.
Doesn't he do like a front flip dunk?
Yeah, it's so outrageous. It's absolutely hysterical. It doesn't actually make any sense, the movie itself. Like he's just like playing basketball with the wolf and people just accept it. I'm actually going to screen share this with you so we can watch the best scene, which is from Snake Plissken, Escape from LA. I don't know if you know it's Escape from LA basketball scene. And it's hard to. Can you hear that? My audio?
Yes.
Okay, cool. This actually kind of works. So this is the commercial. So sorry, Brendan. I don't know if we can play this. We're going to play it anyway and dare them to take it down. This is the best scene. So basically what happens is Snake Plissken is flown into LA, which is overrun by, it's like some dystopian future. And he's trying to, he gets caught.
What is this?
He gets caught somehow. He's like an eye patch. It's great. It's just a great scene. It's Kurt Russell. And he has to.
Oh my goodness!
Like
man, I've seen you share this.
Like he has to like make a certain number of shots in order to like survive. So we're gonna watch it here together. All right.
Oh my god!
So here we go. I missed the rules. We'll go back.
2 hoops, full court, 10-second shot clock. Miss a shot, you get shot. Shot clock buzzer goes off before you shoot, you get shot. 2 points for a basket. No 3-point bullshit. All you gotta do is make 10 points. That's it.
No 3-point bullshit.
By the way, nobody's ever walked off that court alive. Nobody.
Why is this in this movie?
He has like X amount of time to try and save some senator or something.
What's this movie called?
Escape from LA. And it's taking place like in, what is it, the Rose Bowl? Is that what it's called? The Coliseum.
I gotta see Kurt Russell's.
Oh no, he bobbles it. Oh. He only has 10 seconds to go full court, and he's in like high heels and leather pants.
All right, good handle, not bad handle.
Now, if you did this in real life, it is so easy to cover a full court in 10
I like
seconds.
how he tossed it ahead. That's a pretty classic move right there. Toss ahead. Staying at the ball.
For 3. It's a tough one.
Oh my god, that's disgusting. Hey.
So somehow
How is he still
super fatigued.
Nice shot. He's getting
Steve
tired
Buscemi in the crowd.
What?
He's getting tired. The half court shot. Oh.
Bang.
Oh no. One more shot to make. He's so fatigued. Look at the clock. 4 seconds. 3. For some reason, it took him 7 seconds to run from the half-court line to the baseline. The crowd littered with guns. It's like anarchy crowd.
Why is this in this? Kurt, throw the ball. At the buzzer. Oh my God, is that real? How many times does that take?
That's actually a great question too. Oh my gosh.
They can't believe it. They played this game all the time. Nobody's ever done it.
Oh,
that's hilarious.
That's a great one, is it not?
Okay. Well, that's definitely obscure. I've never seen that in my life. I want to know how many people that actually just witnessed that clip. How many people have actually seen that outside of just today? It's got to be a very low number.
I have a picture of my backcourt, and it's a picture of me, Kurt Russell, and Teen Wolf. It's like my all-time backcourt.
You remember the Disney movie Double Teamed?
Oh, let's fire that one up.
Just everywhere.
Here's the move. She's got swing it. One more. Wait.
Wide open.
What are you doing?
Oh,
the clock. 5, 4.
Down by 1.
Go to the hoop, sister. What are you doing? She knows it's her time. The TF2.
You're wide open, and you just get into a triple threat when you're wide open.
Yeah. This little rocker step.
Look at the kicks,
coach
man.
It's just chaos is ensuing. Good move. Nice. The shimmy rip. No. What are you doing? Go. The clock's running out. Still shimmying.
Oh, we need to TikTok on this.
I love the defender. Wait, let's just go back real quick. I love like the late defender appearance here, where no one's guarding her, and then
I should probably go guard her.
And then I'm here.
What a good closeout, dude.
And she's gonna fall for the move that she was currently doing.
Oh, see ya.
Oh, behind the back.
Oh my! I forgot.
By the way,
behind the back.
Horrible pass. Let's go back real quick. This is such a reckless play to make. First off, you could have taken the shot. Then we go to the hoop. We throw behind the back pass, and look at this. I gotta make a play in the corner.
Look at her neck right there. Look at her neck.
That's not in a shooting position. That's a bad pass.
No,
your
that's
sister
not even a highlight
bails
anymore.
you out. Bad.
What a terrible block attempt right there.
I know, horrible. That's straight cash, homie.
Oh, they didn't do the classic like ball rolls around the rim for an hour.
That's very good. That's a very good.
That was exhilarating. Okay, you ready for this draft?
All right, yeah, I'll let you go first.
All right, hold on.
I'm ready to go. There's a couple of good ones, some underrated ones, some classics.
All right, are we doing 5? How many do you want to do?
3 each.
3. Okay. First round draft pick, Disney Channel sports movies is Luck of the Irish. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Okay.
What a wasted pick.
No.
Gosh. Insta bust.
No.
Are you kidding? I mean, it's a good film.
Everybody's favorite basketball movie when they were like 12 years old. We're the same age. So like we saw that movie.
The dunk scene was pretty cool, but then remember he loses it. And...
Oh,
it's because basketball. No.
I don't know who that actor was, but he was big time back then on Disney Channel.
That's like a draft pick. We got Michael Jordan, LeBron, all these greats, and you just pick like just a guy you liked, like a good buddy.
I got people. I know some people in the comments are going to agree with me. Luck of the Irish.
Brink, number 1. I'll pick Brink.
Brink? Is that even? I guess yeah.
It is. So first off, that's a great. There's 2 number 1 picks you could have gone with.
Okay,
Brink is
good.
one
Brink's
of the 2.
Good.
Team Pumpin' Suds versus Team Edgeblade, whoever it is. That's a great movie.
Brink.
That's one. That's also an all-time great. That's going with like, do I pick Larry Bird or do I pick Magic Johnson? Just all-timers. All right, so you go ahead and waste your next pick. Yeah, there's only one other option you should pick second right here. That should have been the first pick.
Pick number 2, Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off.
This is the single worst draft.
No.
No. This is horrible. I can't. Do you like movies?
A story of a dad that's parents that are pressuring their kid to play too much, and he just wants to get in the kitchen and do his thing, his passion. And he does it. And it was inspiring as a kid.
That's the wrong pick.
Shout out to Eddie for
that's a horrible pick. I'm so happy. The guy that I'm actually embarrassed picking this. this late because it shouldn't have fallen this low. Johnny Tsunami, which shouldn't be number 2. It's arguably number 1.
Johnny Tsunami is lit
into my lap at number 2. So thank you. That's number 2. So my third pick's just a free pick at this point because I've already won. Pick your third. Throw away your third pick while you're at it. Pick under wraps. Go ahead.
No. It's going to be, God, I have two, but I don't know. Yeah, this is a Disney movie. This is a Disney Channel movie. This potentially could have been the best one ever. So this is a major steal for me. Pick number 3, The Mighty Ducks.
That's not a Disney Channel original movie.
What?
So wipe that
It's got to
out.
be. It's got to be.
You can't just pick Disney movies.
original.
You can't just pick Disney movies now. Lion
Okay.
King. God, like, wait, Star Wars.
All right.
Like,
Hold on. I'll find one. Hold
This
on.
is horrible.
Disney Channel movies.
You're gonna lose your time to pick. There's one other movie
Hold
that's
on,
a top tier one. There's actually 2.
I just had it. Hold on. I got to get back to my list here. Where is it?
This is the single worst draft
Oh.
pick I've ever heard. Please pick who I think you're gonna pick. Do it.
I'm not going to. The Big Green.
That's also not
Big-
a Disney Channel original movie. This is
it is.
no, it's not. Disney Channel original movies are made by Disney. You're just not like picking hockey players in a basketball draft. You just pick Disney movies. The Big Green is not a Disney Channel original movie. There's a very specific. There's
how
Under
many-
Wraps. There's Phantom of the
okay.
Megaplex. There's
Don't
the
say.
Smart House, which is my next pick because your time got up. Smart House pick number 3.
That's not.
Stack
That
and
is
rack
not
'em.
a sport. I thought that had to be a sports movie.
You said pick a Disney
I got
Channel
one. I
original
got one.
movie. You just wanted a Disney,
Okay.
and then you're
All right,
picking.
Here's my pick number 3. Motocross.
That's not bad.
Motocross. That's
It's
good.
not top 3 by any chance of imagination.
Well, I
You're just
found
picking
it.
sports movies. You could have picked Xenon.
No, that's trash.
That's
Xenon's
an
not
amazing.
good.
It's an all-time classic.
Smart
movie.
House was better.
I picked Smart House. That's what I did. There's
Okay.
also many other good options within that, but you decided to pick.
I'm
Big
going
Green, which doesn't
motocross.
count.
I'm gonna stick with it.
Well, it's-
Motocross.
Okay.
Who's your number 3?
I picked Smart House.
Okay, so I got to pick 4.
So I got Johnny Tsunami, Brink, and Smart House, and you have like 3 arbitrary throwaway ones they made
I
in
got
between these
Luck
shows.
of the Irish, Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off. And
Why would you ever pick Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off?
I literally thought we were doing sports movies.
You're the one who set the rule to pick best Disney Channel original movies, which is a very specific brand, and then you pick.
Oh my goodness, what movie is that? It's one with snow. Snow Day. Snow Day.
Snow Day. You pick Snow Day. That's not even the right Christmas one to pick. The right Christmas one to pick is the one with Bryan Cranston, which is the one they get the little time machine and they go, not the little Santa's machine that freezes time when they capture stuff. Bryan Cranston.
What? What is this? What are you talking about?
Disney Channel original movie. It's the right Christmas one to pick. Snow Day's horrible. Snow Day's the one where they get the snow machine, right? It's a
Yeah.
horrible one. You picked the wrong Christmas one. This is the single greatest
Ooh.
flub of a draft I've ever seen in my entire life.
What about okay, so that was my 4th. I'm sticking with it. Snow Day's great.
I
went from
and to counterpoint your holiday one, the basketball one was far better. The Hanukkah one,
What? The
there's a
Hanukkah.
Hanukkah basketball one, which is far superior. Oh my god!
I don't remember that.
Yeah, you clearly don't remember many. The ones you're picking are just the first one that come to your head.
Okay, I got to pick one more, and it's not Xenon. That's trash. Xenon's bad, man. Why would you want to pick that?
You could pick Halloween Town, which is also technically a Disney Channel original movie, which is a great movie. But it's
Okay. I'm gonna cap it off. Even Stevens movie. Even Stevens might be the most elite Disney Channel show, and then they made a movie, and it was great.
It was not a good movie.
And I'm sticking with that. That's my top 5.
That's what you decided to pick.
You got to pick 5th. What's your 5th?
You really went with the Even Stevens movie.
What is Full Court Miracle? I'm seeing that on
That's
my
the
list.
one.
I never...
That's
Full
the
Court-
Hanukkah one.
Full
Thank
Court
you.
Miracle.
Good one.
Okay.
Sure. Great movie.
All right. What do
Did
you
I
got?
get the
What's your
5th
last
one? I'll just like
High School
Probably-
Musical.
no. I was gonna just take Halloween Town because technically it's a Disney Channel original movie and it's a very good movie.
Listen, you got me a Johnny Tsunami. I'm not gonna lie. When he hit me with that one, I'm really upset I didn't pick that. That's a great movie.
I would be upset too, to be honest
Did
with
there-
you.
I thought they made another one too. Maybe not.